shows, one after another. Spain, Italy, England, Germany, Finland, where we were going. So I got that ATP, no, I forgot exactly the brand name, but it was ATP from a pharmacy, and I sent it to Neoton it's called. I sent it to Bill Phillips to say, well, what the hell is this? So I told him that's adenosine triphosphate, it's cellular energy, it's a lot of powerlifters use and athletes. So do you have an oral form? I said, no. At that time it was not available. But I even told him, like, if anybody, finds it, it's going to be a billionaire. And sure enough, he is the one that invented it, right? Probably had some researchers. And creatine monohydrate at the time, it was started. Whoever used it probably experienced it. Obviously, you get definitely increase in strength, endurance, yes. Cell volumization. I mean, when I when I compete, I include creatine in my carb loading, methods. And John just competed, right? And he was in tremendous condition and all that stuff. But we use creatine. There was Weider seminar, and there was like 28 of us, all the Weider athletes, and there was all Weider staff and doctors and all that stuff, back in '99, I think. And then there was a question, like, can creatine be used for a contest? So Dr. Jed Feliciano and some other, and Chad Nichols and a few more, no, creatine makes you hold water, there's no way you should use it for a contest, right? So like, excuse me, I'm rightfully disagreeing. How does creatine retain water? ATP, adenosine triphosphate, is what? Intracellular energy, inside the cell. So it's going to draw the fluid inside the cell exactly where we want it. Okay, and that was the time that was 1997. That was 99. So, of course, no. And I swear to God, I have a journals from 1987 to 1999. Every day I was writing. There was no computers back in the day, right? So you write in a notebook. I had every meal I ever had, grams of protein, carbs, and fat, and calories, right? And all the supplements I was taking. So for Canada Pro Cup and for National Champions 97, I won Canada and I was second to Chris Cormier in the National Champions. I used 40 grams a day, every day a week, before the show for Canada, and I did 80 grams a day, every day for National Champions. And we use it, absolutely. So creatine is a great supplement, absolutely recommended. I did emphasize that EAAs are really my number one choice, not just for athletes and for people that train, but for all human beings. And especially if you have somebody who is vegetarian, right? And I don't have nothing against it. I understand a lot of people are vegetarians. Some ovo, lacto, partial this, partial that. They allowed this and that. But any vegetarian, if they would just take essential amino acids with their meal, they would have a perfect diet. Yeah, because those limiting amino acids they're missing, just take with those essential amino acids. And in that sense, I think the vegetarian diet will be, most healthiest.
When you train, do you work with the push and pull system?
No, that's, and I'm also curious, I want to find out, there was one time, I don't know if you remember, that you and I trained in some European, and to this day, when I show some exercises, and there was like incline hammer dumbbell, the way you did it with the, break the wrist and hold it here, so that's Charles's favorite exercise. And we all believe that your arms were just like spectacular,
You still are.
Yeah.
It's just shapely fat.
Push, pull, whatever. When I started, I was so enthusiastic. Right? I was training like 4 hours a day. I was thinking, stupid kid, teenager, like more I train, more I'm going to improve. So I trained 4 hours a day. I was doing 3 body parts every day, and 3 months later, I lost size, and it was, oh my
Do you
God.
believe training for a certain amount of time, hit it in and out? Or
No, well, but, so you start experimenting, right? Especially if you remember 1981, yeah.
you won?
Oof. I'm not that old. Yeah, 1981, when I started, there was zero information, right? So literally speaking, I was finding out what exercises for which muscle by doing it, and then whatever next day hurts, that was the muscle. So yeah, we did, first everything, like everybody part 3 times a week. It was obviously too much, and then cut it down to 2 times a week, and then I realized once a week is enough if you just kill it. I did push-pull, I have nothing against it, but then I also tried, chest and biceps, back and triceps, and for many athletes, works, whatever individually, works for them, you should apply it. You could change around. You see, whatever demand you put on the body, your body is going to try to adapt. So if you put the highest demand, it's going to be highest adaptation. If you want maximal results, you should, maximally, stimulate, muscle. So sometimes you see if you do push and pull, so you're pushing on the chest and maybe now you're doing shoulders. Obviously your shoulders are going to suffer. They're not going to be at their, strongest because you're already pre-exhausted pushing it, from the chest like inclines or something. It's not wrong, but you just have to experience it. And some people like it. Okay, if you do the complete chest pushing, right? You do biceps, pulling, because it's completely fresh, untouched.
And do you like the way Dorian trains very, very quick and
No, I mean, again, and this is England, and not because I'm in England, I would always say I have utmost respect for Dorian. I mean, who doesn't? I mean, we competed against him. Guy was 6 times Mr. Olympia, enough said, right? How can you argue his results? But I trained with him a couple of weeks in California at my gym. He was my guest. And I trained with him a few times in Birmingham. And I followed, his principle because I really didn't believe it. First you read it, like, come on, one warm-up set and one all-out. Like, I honestly didn't believe it. So when we trained, that's exactly, what he did. He had a, meticulous form. He has that peak contraction. I respect him. He was trying to go as heavy as possible. But this is, if you ask me, injury waiting to happen. And pretty much every heavy-duty guy that I know had the muscle tears, yes. So that would not be my concept. So for bodybuilders, right? What I do, I like to do the heavy-duty, okay, but modified. So let's say I'm going to give you 2 exercises for chest or back or whatever. As you're starting, first set would be controlled negative, control positive. So squeezing. It's not like lifting. You control and contract. You see, you can lift if you command your body. Okay, you're bench pressing. Press this sucker off my chest. You're not telling chest to contract. You're pushing with everything else, with chest and triceps and shoulders, whatever else. So, but when already on the first set, you have a mind-muscle connection. You're thinking of the chest. You're thinking of maximally stretching and maximally shortening, right? So you go there and squeeze it, right? Let the contraction move the weight. So then you up the weight, progressive load, right? You put heavier, and now you control down, but you can explode up, okay? So if you do with the, yes, and now third set, you're ready. Now you can go all out, okay? And then maybe 4th set, you can even do the negatives. So I will do 2 exercises like this, so to really have that heavy duty. But then the rest, I started with superset, 3 set, and then I went into the giant sets. And it was really, I always like to say this story because it's really true. Japanese bodybuilder, Hidetada Magishi, was sent to my gym to hire me as a coach because he was never placing. I started training him, and already in a few weeks he placed like 11th in Sacramento, but lineup was so crazy that some top names didn't make top 15. So he was like all excited and all that stuff. And when you go to the bodybuilding forums, a lot of people like to talk shit. I mean, especially go on the getbig.com, say hello, my name is Charles. Fuck you, asshole. I'm serious. No reason. Really. Your mother is this, your father is that, and you're fat. Whatever. I mean, shit. I went there a few times, just to be nice to people, and I end up being an asshole. I put, so they started like ripping apart Hide, like, oh, he's short, he's Japanese, he's never gonna make it on Olympia. So I put there, and he's still there. It was 2006. He can be on Olympia stage in 1 year. So he came that day, and he didn't speak much English, and he was looking at me like, Milos, like, why did you write this? What? Like, why did you write this? I said, because I believe you can be on Olympia. I said, what? You don't believe it? You get the fuck out. So of course he was like, should he leave? I said, no, Hide, okay. Call your sponsor and ask him if he's going to give me $50,000 bonus if you qualify for the 2007 Olympia. Honest to God truth. Easiest $50,000 I ever made. Yeah, but you see, I had a 1 year, and yes, he had some, things to work on. This is when I really, now he agreed, his sponsor. Katsunori Kaputa, I even remember that name because it was the name of his check. At that time I said, like, what is now really maximal? You have to maximize training, maximal. What is maximal hypertrophy, right? So that's what I was thinking. Is this heavy duty? If it's this, that. And that's how I came up with heavy duty and crazy giant sets. Okay? And you know how Japanese people take a picture and film everything, right? So he was filming every single workout, and there's like 4 or 5 different DVDs you can actually buy from him. It would be rude of me to ask percentage of the DVD because I got 50 grand, so it's all his, so I'm not trying to tell you to buy it because of that. But anyway, that's exactly how we train all this. He was with me 2006, 7, 8, 9. That's exactly how we train. And really, I encourage you to look at the pictures of he did like 2007, 8, 9, and now he was way better than. But these giant sets. So, and for girls, I would highly suggest giant sets. I don't know if you girls do this, but you pick like 4 or 5 different exercises for the same muscle group, and you do one after another without any break. Okay, it can be 10-second break from one station to another. So you can apply maybe something a little heavier in the first. On a second, maybe you can go super slow. On a third, maybe you can do those super squeezes like peak contraction. I would do something like, okay, doesn't matter. Let's say side laterals. 1 second squeeze, 2 seconds, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. You just have that crazy muscle, same for legs, anything that you grip and range of motion and stance. Any little variable, tempo, right? It's a new stimulation, there's new information for the body. And not just that, but as I talk about increased blood flow, hyperemia reaches, crazy level, because you're just bombing. And if you have during workout supplementation.
So I'm just checking what Charlie tells me is exactly what you're saying with the
Yeah.
training. Sometimes I want to go heavier, and he says, no, do it slower, and
Well,
it's true.
there you go. I mean, again, you wouldn't build one of the best physiques the world has ever seen if you don't know what you're doing. So yeah, by all means, I would like to.
I would have loved to have worked with Milos when I was competing. But, I was here, he was there, and you were, did you work with Sonny?
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, I didn't know Milos was working with guys till I came to the end of my career. Then I found out who else he was working with, and I thought, well, missed opportunity, because, you know, if I'd known, I would have just gone and, you know, signed up with him. I had to be careful with a lot of people that I work with, because Wayne would step in and say, no, not him, not him, not him. And in the end, they think, okay, I'm a solo runner here. But, you know, the reason, again, just transgressing here, the reason I'm letting Milos take the floor here is because he understands this stuff at a micro level, whereas I don't, right? You know, I understand, but
He's being very humble.
never as deep as this. So, you know, you're going to learn something here, so listen to him. So, he has the floor, right?
I mean, I'm still, you know, very curious about some of your, you know, trainings and all this stuff.
Oh, I mean, I agree with everything you're saying, but I will say this, that I don't go, when I got into personal training, I did my certificate with a guy with abs. Yeah, I bought it. With a guy who had a master's degree in exercise, nutrition, a diet, the whole thing. He understood things at a micro level, right? And in the end, I mean, this stuff you have to study it. You know, for me, bodybuilding was a job, okay? So I took a gamble at going pro, made it as a pro, and I did, you know, very well out of it, thank God. But I never understood it at the level Milos did, right? Because for me, it was like, right, okay, I've got to prep for this comp. I didn't do as many competitions as you did, because, you know, I had issues from previous competitions that I've done outside of the IFBB, which scuppered a lot of my contest prep towards it. And then remember when they introduced the ban list of stuff, you couldn't have this, you couldn't have that, and in the end, you know, some of the guys were coming in looking like Flat Stanley, you know, so, and I was one of them, because, you know, I didn't want a 50 grand fine, and I didn't want a ban, and whatever place you got in the Olympia, you had to compete, you had to qualify again. I didn't want to do that, because, so I just went with the normal CV diet, didn't dare to do anything, because, you know, you had some guy at the end of the competition standing over you while you peed in a cup, right? And you'll see that a lot of the bodybuilders, you know, we don't look great in trunks, you know. So, you know, I was one of them, so I thought, you know, a bit embarrassing. So I didn't want all that. Hence, you know, why I went the route I did. But anyway, getting back to Milos, he understands it at a, you know, at a finite level. So he's the man you have to listen to.
But I just tell you, because you see, 93, you were spectacular. You beat Flex and Kevin and all these guys, right? That was 93. But then I think 97, you were not, you know, at your best, because that's when they had the diuretic testing.
Yes, yeah.
One phone call to me, I would give you 5 diuretics that you could use.
I know. This is opportunity missed. So.
Yeah, as you said, yeah, they came up with okay, 1992, Momo Belaziza died in Holland. I touched the subject yesterday in a radio show. He was taking diuretics, yes, and he was taking potassium sparing diuretic, which means
Charlie was there.
Yeah, it would be, you know, you accumulate a lot of potassium, and doctor that came there without checking his potassium levels and asking what he was taking, he shooted him with potassium, which stopped his heart. So directly killed him. I mean, there was negligence of IBB, you know, that's why, you know, they'll put this on YouTube, you know. But no, really, you know, this is what it is. So, they came up with this now, they want to save athletes, so let's use the diuretic test.
Yeah.
And they put whatever list. So as soon as you get the list, I went to the Merck Index, and Merck Index, have every chemical compound from anabolic compounds, whatever they are made or not made, and their rates. So there was, so many. So I competed in '97 in Canada, and the champion. So after Canada, when the media calls me, oh, Milos, I have bad news. You failed the test. I said, really? Which compound did I use? So he looks there like, Cypamine. Okay, find it on the list. And then he looks, shit. But it's a diureticus, yes? But it's not on the list, is it? So, now I couldn't use Cypamine for Night of the Champions, so that was a beautiful loop diuretic. So for Night of the Champions, again, he calls me. I said, okay, I look at it, it's not on the list. So how do you find it? I said, Wayne, I have 10 more. So just ask me. And then after this, he put, and all related. So he got me finally. There was, Pyrazinamide was the one that Demedex, all the guys were using that because it was available in America.
For me, I just thought, I'm just going to get nailed on this, so I'm not going there.
Well, Charles, out of all people, you have a physique that I would love to work with because you were already spectacular. I think really your symmetry, shape, insertion, the flat abs, deep flat stomach, exceptionally flat, phenomenal arms and everything else. I would probably focus on a little bit more lat width, because Dorian, B. Haney, you name it, Ronnie. I mean, for whatever reason, you have a back, you have Olympia title. You don't have a back, you can't. But as I said in the beginning, I really consider your physique. You and Flex, Wheeler, I think has ideal physiques in the history of bodybuilding. And I still think that you should consider making a comeback. I'm serious.
Well, only because you want to work with me.
I mean, seriously, I'll sign up right now.
Flex is back, isn't he?
Is he?
Yeah, he is. Well,
Who's he?
and I'm going to say this also because, you also have maybe somebody older in your family that is discouraged and so on. I tell you this, there are great courses.com on the internet, and they have everything. I mean, it's phenomenal courses you can buy. So they have engineering, they have finances, they have anatomy, physiology, and all that stuff. And from anatomy classes, they actually, I didn't expect it, but there was a study, Dr. Goodman, Anthony Goodman. They went to the senior citizens at home, and people that were 60, 70, 80 years old, immobile, injured, weak, old, everything. And they start applying weight-resistant training and higher protein intake. And the results were just astonishing, so to increase protein synthesis in body tissue and get them stronger, healthier, and revive them. So really, human body and human cell, as it ages, it changes somewhat, but it's never gonna lose the ability, to be enhanced. So really, I know many people say, I'm too old for this. You're never too old. I've seen, 1991 when I competed first time as a pro, 61-year-old Albert Beckles beat us all. So, really.
You always kept saying he's 50.
No, but so many. I mean, even simply coming with some other pro heaters is lying about the age. Now, I tell you, now when you say it, 91 in the European Grand Prix Tour, you mentioned Wayne Demita was pro-chairman. He asked me at one moment to go and get everybody's passports to give it to him. So I went, and I took Albert's passport and I looked. and then I said, Albert, you're 61. You shut up. Yeah, because he was older than my father, yes. And it's like, if people would know that he was 61, he would lose that,
His condition was phenomenal.
he was spectacular. I mean, really. Sonny Schmidt was also lying. Yeah. And, but really, I mean, if you look, 51-year-old, how old are you now? How old are you now?
I'll give it away. There's senility here, so there you go. Right.
55? Okay, 51-year-old Vince Taylor won Australia Grand Prix in probably best shape of his life. At the same show, there was a 49-year-old Ben Fada in his best ever. You know, but seriously, I mean, the way I see it, you have a healthy muscle. You don't have any major injuries. You have been resting from many things probably for a long time. Your body will respond like crazy. Yeah. So anyway, you guys try to convince him to give me a call afterwards.
Okay, every single day I train.
Yes. Okay. More
Best
questions?
Olympia.
Hmm?
So, what was your best Olympia?
My best Olympia?
Really enjoyed prepping it and doing.
Honestly, now when you said, when you train for Olympia, I mean, that's the pinnacle of the sport. You have to enjoy it, right? I enjoy every one of it. I only played stand, like 3 times I played stand. So that's the best I got.
Why do you think you only got 10? Because you're serious?
Because there was nine people better. I mean,
was really good.
yeah, I mean, you see, I'm really,
Politics again.
I'm hard on myself, but yes, it's subjective sport, matter of opinion, so, this is how it is. Who wins? I would say, this is so much bigger. Oh, really? Right? I mean, this is exactly, I question judges many times, because I had a column in Flex magazine, I had a perfect opportunity to, express my opinions. So like 2003, I was comparing, there is still in the British Flex, I was comparing Ronnie and Dexter. And there was the article, right? So why did Ronnie win? Because he was bigger. That was the only aspect that he was bigger. Because Dexter was more conditioned, more symmetrical, better shape, everything, right? But so you put what bodybuilding should be all about: perfect symmetry, shape, balance, no weaknesses, conditioning, muscle separation, striations, presentation, you name it, whatever else you want to put it, muscularity, hardness, whatever. So, and I was scrutinizing, there was, how can you say that? That's my honest opinion. So really, okay. And if Dorian was here, and you can tape it and send it to him, I would say, I would give Charles Mr. Olympia over Dorian any day.
The year he tore his bicep.
No, even before that, I mean, you see, it's hard to say this, because when somebody has accomplished something, but like I'm putting down. No, but matter of, as you say, politics. Yeah, I would really, analyze physique for what it is, and I would never want to emulate his physique, but I would love to look like Charles. I mean, we had a lot of similarities. Yes, I think that it was, it was really, pleasure being compared with him. But I understand. I mean, his arms were phenomenal. It's untouchable, and that just brings the complete picture. Because if you look at mandatory poses, you cannot hide arms. And
Dorian should have won one because he had no biceps at all.
well,
And in '82, when Tom Hanks had a torn bicep, they didn't let him win. So it's changed over the years, politics.
yes. Anyway, there's some girls here. Do the girls have the questions?
I have a question about...
Milos, is there any chance we can do a half hour downstairs on the floor?
Yeah, if you want.
Yeah.
Yes, well, let's just see if they have a.
Girls, any questions?
I want to know how much importance you put on the speed of reps.
So then,
How the tempo of your reps.
tempo of the reps?
Yeah, so
Yeah, okay, so you have a, Did you see, like, when you have those 4 numbers, like, let's say 4, 0, 1, 2.
Yeah.
4 is 4 seconds descending, negative. Then a 0, which means you don't wait on the bottom, immediately go 1 second and then 2 seconds peak contraction. So depending which muscle we're doing and which exercise, sometimes I would want you to be explosive, which means you would go 4 down and explosive up, which means as fast as you can. And then it would be 0, 0, which means constantly. Like if you're doing, I would want you to do 20 leg presses or 50 high reps, and you keep that pace. But then some exercises like leg extensions, leg curls, glute, what do you call it, butt blaster, I would absolutely emphasize that this peak contraction at the end is like 2-3 seconds. Really squeeze like juice out of the lemon. No, seriously, this is going to give you that shape and muscle tone. I'm bigger, especially for all the girls, I do this a lot. Like you really feeling the muscle contracting, you're going to get the quality and the polishment. Yes. But tempo, I do for legs, okay, 10 legs. Hex squat, I swear by. Hex squat, okay, if you want to glutes, I would tell you to push from the heels, right, and focus on pushing the glutes. Or a whole foot, or raise your heel this much and push from the ball of the foot for the quads. But I swear by super slow hex squats, pass the parallel, 0 momentum, right? So you just squeeze and you go like 8 to 10 seconds down, 8 to 10 seconds up. It's an absolute nightmare. And you maybe put like some plates, so you can do initially 3-4 reps and then you take one off. 3-4 reps, take another one, take another. So descending set. Hex squats or Smith machine squats or pendulum squats for girls, for guys. It's when they tell me like, oh yeah, I can never build legs. They don't build legs because they don't want to stay in that pain zone. So that when you're going slow, you're controlling descent and ascent with a muscle contraction. You feel that lactic acid buildup and it's burning like hell. So nobody wants to stay in that zone. So they just want to get out of it. I really, I say this, those are the reps that count, the other ones don't. So if you finish the set, doing a 10 reps, you didn't feel it, and then on the 10th rep you felt a little burnt, you're not going to change, guarantee you can train for 5 years, you're never going to change. And I've seen this, but people train, for comfort. They don't really, push it to those limits. Okay, muscle failure, you can have a different muscle failure. If we would go very heavy, we are risking the injury, right, and all that stuff. But you squeeze harder and you fail sooner. So, for example, if Charles and I are doing some exercise, human nature, guys like this, if he would do 10, my ego, I would have to do 11, right? And this, and it's for competitiveness. If you girls are like that, it's great. Yeah? But if I'm your coach, I would really tell you, girl that win is that really honestly fail on the least amount of reps, because you're going to be squeezing so hard each rep, you're going to just like fail. So when we do the exercises, look, if I would squeeze 2-3 seconds biceps like crazy, right? And he just fakes it because he can do much more. So for me, amount of reps never meant anything. Even when you do the lightweight, I would like you to reach that failure through crazy muscle contraction that you really feel like there's nothing there anymore.